Hey everybody, this is Adam Friedman from Stratford Technology. This video log, the purpose of it is going to be to discuss an issue that sometimes comes up in reporting with regards to rounding and scaling. So to jump right into the issue and to explain what I'm trying to accomplish here, I put together a very simple financial report in Hyperion Financial Reporting Studio that it basically just has 3 accounts, or it could be 3 of any dimension, rolling up to a total for a single month of data. So you can see account 1, 2.4999 million, account 2, 2.4 million, account 3, 2.3 million, and if you add the 3 together, you end up with 7,199,999. And this is all fine and good until the customer or a user asks you to round this and portray the data in millions. What they're really asking for is for you to scale the data into millions. So let's just take a look at the problem that actually causes. And we can do it easily enough in Financial Reporting Studio. We can actually use a formatting here to set the scale. So let's scale by millions. We hit OK. Save it. And now we're going to go back and now look at the report again. And lo and behold, we have account 1 is 2 million, account 2 is 2 million, account 3 is 2 million, and the total is 7 million. Now, if you remember the report from a few minutes ago, this isn't really going to. These numbers are actually correct. The total is around 7 million. The problem is if somebody were to put a report like this out to the public or to their boss, they would say, "Why can't you add 2 plus 2 plus 2? Obviously, the answer is 6." That's a real problem. Now, when I get presented with this problem, I usually argue that the real solution is to increase your precision. In other words, maybe we should be looking at this with a couple decimal points. So again, just as an example, we can format this again, but let's add a decimal place and save it. And look at the data, and now this actually makes perfect sense. These 3 numbers, 2.5, 2.4, and 2.3 add up to 7.2, and that's correct. But sometimes that's not an option either, and the user will say it has to be in millions with no decimal points. And now you have a kind of a conundrum, right? Because sometimes you want the truth is that while 2 plus 2 should equal 6, it is kind of misleading to say that your total is 6 when in reality it's 7. I mean, you're fairly severely understating your results. But that's a philosophical question, and assuming that you have no choice, there is a workaround that you can do, and hopefully you don't have to do this too often, but it is something that you can do. So, what I would do in this situation, first of all, let's take off the formatting just so we remember where we were at. We'll go back to 0, and we'll scale back to 1. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create a formula. So, click on here, right click, say insert column, and it'll be a formula column. And what we're going to do is use the round formula. Alright, so we're going to say round, and we're going to say whatever's in column A. And instead of using normally like a 1 or a 2 or a 3, which should give you a number of decimal points, we're going to use a negative number. And that's going to basically do the same thing that our scaling does. So I'm going to say -6, and we'll save that. Now, before I actually move on, what I'd like to do is show you what this looks like. So we'll open up our report again. And you can still see I still have kind of the same problem. I mean, obviously we can scale this to millions again if we wanted to, and it would still be 2 and 2 and 2 and 7. So what you have to do at this point is create another formula that adds up those rounded numbers. So we're going to say insert row formula, and we're going to make this formula 1 plus 2 plus 3. Okay, so let's take a look at that real quickly. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. So you can see I now have the 6 million, which is actually what I wanted. Again, it's a somewhat of a misleading result, but it is actually accurate in that 2 plus 2 plus 2 does equal 6. So let's put our finishing touches on this. First thing we're going to want to do is change this heading so that it now kind of replaces the January column. We're going to make the January column hidden. We're going to make the original total column hidden. And we're going to change this to a custom heading. Let's just call it total. Oh, and one last thing. We're going to format this to scale by millions. So, I'm going to hit save, and we look at our report. We now have 2 plus 2 plus 2 equals 6. And that's basically it. So I hope this tips and tricks was helpful, and thank you for listening.